This is the MediaWorks video software series. I am Scott, a media specialist at MediaWorks. We continue on today with Audacity audio software, specifically looking at 4 more tools from the tools section of the horizontal toolbar here on the user interface. The 4 new tools we are dealing with today are the envelope tool, the zoom tool, the time shift tool, and the draw tool. The 6th and last tool, the multi-tool, is rarely used in Audacity. We will not be going over it today or in any other future videos. The envelope tool continues on from concepts from our last video on volume and amplitude control on the file in the timeline of Audacity. The envelope tool allows changes to volume within a file over time. To be used effectively, good timeline navigation is required, and precise control of the area to begin and end the change are needed. It is recommended to have maximum vertical space dragged here in Audacity on the timeline when using this tool. By selecting the envelope tool and then left-clicking and dragging an area, the volume is adjusted, as we can see by the visual wavelength on the timeline. In this method right now, we're doing the entire file, but if we click, you see white nodes added. These keyframes indicate the limits of the area to be increased or decreased. As demonstrated here. When would we use this tool? Perhaps when recording 2 people with 1 microphone and there is a volume discrepancy in their conversation to even out the volume. I'm going to re-import a new file to work with here. I'm going to extend it horizontally on the timeline. We're going to move on to the draw tool. This very specific tool allows the editing of the actual frequencies in the waveform when zoomed completely in, which we achieve by using the zoom toggle tool to view actual frequency nodes as described in previous videos. Notice what happens if I use the draw tool currently on the timeline. Zoom in further until you can see the individual samples. Here we are, zoom toggle tool, individual samples, timeline control. We can see them. Let's click and see what happens. That's left click. This is right click. You'll notice they have the same effect. This again is a very precise tool, and I would recommend trying it out for best results. You click either right or left to edit the frequencies you hear, but this will take a lot of work and time, as when zoomed in this much, you are dealing with very short amounts of time within the file. Currently here, we're at 1/10 of a second. If working on a stereo file, the tool only works on 1 channel at a time. A very precise tool. Again, your timeline navigation is essential. The zoom tool is another way to navigate the timeline, and when selected, allows you to click and drag an area to be zoomed in and use shift click to zoom out, as demonstrated here. There's my area. We'll go between 133 and 137, 4-second area. We see on the timeline we've done 4 seconds. We want to zoom out, hold down shift. We go out, hold down shift, make a selection. We zoom back out to that much. Useful way to navigate the timeline, in addition to the zoom controls that we've gone over in the previous video. Now I'm going to prepare the timeline for the introduction to our last tool. I'm going to import another file. Here we have 2 files. I'm going to zoom out so we have more timeline to look at, increase the horizontal space. The last new tool is the time shift tool, especially useful with multiple tracks as shown here. When selected, you left or right click on the track you want to see the change on, and it allows you to move forward or backward in time on the timeline. If you compare where the waveform is to the time ruler up above, you'll see it's going forward or backwards. You see when it actually indicates exactly with the vertical yellow stripe when lined up with the track above it. In other words, when one track ends and another starts. This allows you to line up the consecutive files or make minor adjustments based on the level of timeline zoom and in conjunction with the horizontal time ruler to view your results. To the timing of the files. Again, this is most useful when in a multi-track environment. Thank you for watching.